The autumn sun dipped low over the rolling hills of Kosovo, casting long shadows across the ancient field where, a century earlier, the first great clash between Christian knights and the Ottoman host had been fought. By 1448, Sultan Murad II of the Ottoman Empire had consolidated his rule in Rumelia and Anatolia, yet the Hungarian regent and crusader champion, John Hunyadi, viewed the Balkans as the bulwark of Christendom. News of Murad's preparations to strike into Hungary sent shivers through European courts, and steeled Hunyadi's resolve to meet him in battle once more. John Hunyadi mustered a coalition of Hungarian heavy cavalry, Wallachian light horse, Serbian exiles led by despot Durad Brankovic, and mercenaries from Bohemia and Poland. His banners, crimson stag, double-headed eagle, and emblems of the Virgin, fluttered above some 24,000 men. Through the Carpathian passes and the old Roman road, Hunyadi advanced south, fording icy streams and skirting Ottoman strongholds. Each village he secured added to his ranks, but each was also a reminder of the harsh terrain and the tens of thousands of Ottoman horses that awaited him. In Adrianople, Murad II convened his pashas and beys. The Sultan, tall and stern, listened as his commanders urged swift action to prevent Hunyadi from crossing the Danube. Behind them lay thousands of janissaries, Sipahi cavalry, and allied Balkan levies. Murad chose to split his forces, one wing to pin Hunyadi's allies, the other to strike at the heart of the Hungarian host. Thus resolved, the Ottoman army marched north through Niš, banner of the crescent held high. By October 17, both armies encamped within sight of each other on the fertile plains near the Sitnica River. Hunyadi's camp was ringed by hastily erected palisades. Ottoman tents, in vivid reds and whites, fanned out opposite. Scouts reported both sides wary. Hunyadi trusted his heavy lances, Murad his disciplined janissaries and the feigned flight tactics of his light horse. The air smelled of damp earth, and a chill wind carried whispers of the coming carnage. Dawn on October 18 saw the Ottomans launch light cavalry feints at Hunyadi's flanks. Arrows hissed through the mist, striking armored breastplates. Hunyadi held formation, his knights braced behind pavesas, crossbowmen loosed counter-volleys. By mid-morning the feints intensified, smoke from burning villages on the frontier sent eddies of gray skyward, unnerving the Hungarian infantry. Yet Hunyadi refused to be drawn out. His plan hinged on luring Ottoman forces into a disordered countercharge. As the sun reached its zenith, Hunyadi gave the signal. Horns blared, trumpets pealed, and the heavy cavalry, knights in full mail and great helms, thundered forward. Over fields pocked with stubble, they struck the Ottoman center with earth-shaking impact. Janissaries formed checkerboard formations, firing into the onrushing tide. Shouts and steel rang out as horses and riders collided with disciplined ranks. For a moment, Christian swords seemed to crack the Ottoman line. Murad II, observing from a slight rise, rode forth with his Sipahi guard. With a wave of his jeweled scimitar, he unleashed a fresh reserve of Anatolian archers and Turkish light horse. They circled the fatigued crusaders, firing composite bows into their flanks. Meanwhile, hidden detachments, spurred on by beys, broke through at the wings. Hunyadi's men, scattered by hours of fighting and arrow fire, struggled to reform as cavalry swirled around them. Separated from his main force, Hunyadi dismounted and rallied his remaining knights around a makeshift redoubt of overturned wagons. With sword and mace, he repelled Ottoman assaults. Each swing bought time for infantry to reload crossbows. Serbian deserters fought alongside him, recalling darker days under Ottoman rule. Muddy fields turned to churned clay as the battleground slowly shifted toward the hazelwood fringe. Late afternoon thunderclouds gathered, casting a dim pallor over the battlefield. Hunyadi's men, though weary, had begun to believe the tide might turn in their favor. Then, like thunder rolling from the mountains, a new sound rose on the wind: hooves. Thousands of hooves. From the rugged heights to the Hungarian right flank, a massive dust cloud emerged. Murad's hidden force of 20,000 Akinjis, the swift and ruthless irregular cavalry of the Ottoman frontier. They had crossed the treacherous mountain paths during the night, guided by Albanian scouts and Balkan auxiliaries, and now descended like a black tide, screaming war cries, the Akinjis hit the Crusader flank like a hammer. Lightly armored but ferociously fast, they swept around the Hungarian positions, cutting down fleeing crossbowmen, loosing arrows into panicked ranks, and setting supply wagons ablaze. Hunyadi's carefully laid formations crumbled. The Christian left bent, the right collapsed entirely, panic surged. It was not just a battle now, it was an encirclement. Under torrential rain, the rout became a gallop. Hunyadi led a hard-pressed rear guard through narrow gorges, seeking the safety of friendly Serbian hills. Ottoman light horse gave chase, arrows and lances sowing chaos. Yet pockets of determined resistance allowed many to escape across the Abar River. John Hunyadi, his armor battered and blood-streaked, finally halted at a ruined tower near Novo Brdo, vowing to rebuild his forces and safeguard Hungary's southern marches. As dusk fell on October 20th, the Ottoman crescent soared unchallenged over the battlefield. Thousands lay dead among churned earth and broken standards. Murad too honored his janissaries and sipahi with robes of honor, yet he knew Hunyadi's spirit remained unbroken. The Second Battle of Kosovo had secured Ottoman dominion in the Balkans for decades more. Centuries later, visitors to Kosovo still tread these blood-soaked fields, where empire met empire in a struggle that shaped the map of Europe. In museums from Budapest to Istanbul, shields and swords whisper of that autumn clash. And on every anniversary, at dusk, one can almost hear the distant horn and the clash of blades, reminding us how a few days of fighting can echo through ages.